this evolution of vulnerability. It's about connecting two humans together. You can do this, throw up your hands, or you can do this. I would just say, just check that assumption. If someone comes from a background in adversity or they've come from nothing, that's usually at the center of their soul. Thank you. Are there any Brazilians in the room? Woo, woo, woo. Like 50% of you. Love you guys. So Brazil is a wonderful example of how participatory budgeting has really taken off, sort of giving power back to the citizens. PB is a process of deliberation and decision-making that endeavours to empower citizens to identify, discuss and prioritise how public money is spent. Some of the benefits have been citizens learning, government transparency and trust, advocacy of minority groups, and the decentralisation of command. It's got 6 phases: the design phase, ideation, proposal, vote, fund, and iterate. I like to instead explain it like a game of Monopoly. Every citizen gets to choose not only how to spend the money, but what to spend it on. So the players of the Monopoly board are all volunteered or elected individuals that represent those groups. So in the design process, we look forward to see how can we best serve this group or community or organisation. In the ideation phase, people come together in rooms just like this to begin to ideate on how to best spend the public funds. In the proposal stage, those are refined and put into formal proposals. And now we start to basically lay out the Monopoly board with what are the things that we actually want to put in place for our community. So the Monopoly board becomes kind of like a roadmap. The Black Saturday bushfires were among Australia's all-time worst bushfire disasters. It was one of those horrible days where a text message would come through and you'd learn somebody else had passed away. And the people in my office noticed that emotion, and my boss asked me to come upstairs. I'd never been in their office before. And I sat across from them and they said, every year we donate large sums of money to a charitable cause. They felt that their money would go to administrative costs instead of the cause themselves. And what they really wanted to do was help people with that money. So he asked me, would it be okay if we gave this money to your family to go and give directly to the community to use in a way that would best support that community? He said, no questions asked, no receipts. All you have to do is go downstairs to the accounts room, give them the bank account details, and that's it. We don't want anything else. And I thought that was a very enormous gesture, and I rang my family and they're like, wow, that's really enormous, but we'll do it. And within 2 weeks, they'd hired and built locally an emergency sleep out for people to sleep that no longer had their homes, and a childcare centre during the day. I just thought that was a really cool example of how somebody 1,000 kilometres away had seen an issue that was impacting somebody else and had found a way through their intention of how they choose to spend their time and money in order to create a change for something that's important to others. I thought it was really cool. On the flip side, I wanted to tell you about smaller levels of philanthropy. So Vivian's in her late 30s, she's a single mum. She sold a house year before last and she had this kind of cash injection that she wasn't expecting. So what she decided to do was start a PAF. So a PAF is a private ancillary fund in Australia, and in the US, they're called a DAF, and they're much easier to start. It's a philanthropic family trust. Anybody can do it. It's 100% tax deductible. But the cool thing about it that Vivian writes about is you can use it to create a social change, even just the smallest way. She talks about giving her daughters a seat at the table of decision making. Her daughters are 8 and 9 years old. And she talks about empowering our young people in order to create positive change for the future and educating them about that. And simply by every year needing to then choose how she wants to spend that house sale profit over the next 10 years, that's sort of these developmental years for her children, which is really important as far as what we're raising for the future.